Bruh, are you serious?
My brother. Okay, please, you can have some Ovaltine biscuits. You don't get this every day, you know.
Well, today,
Have the Ovaltine biscuit.
we're not in the usual place. I mean, we're away from where we used to record.
Or home away from home.
I wouldn't call this place home yet, but you know,
Zanga now. This is our home.
no, Zanga does not mean home. It means location, like the happening place.
Well, subjective definitions, you know.
And then we have two wonderful guests. We have all the way from Abuja, Odumodu Black. You know,
This was the this was the menu. It look as if it's a republished version of this one.
I don't blame you.
This one is the republished version.
I don't know how you're not hot with that thing though.
I'm
Because
okay.
I'm actually boiling.
Yeah, I'm chill.
No,
I'm
He
always,
came from Abuja.
I'm always cool.
oh, you're always cold.
I'm always cool.
Nah. And then, we're seated with another wonderful person. Whom, listen, man, the first time I met K, trust me, it was, that kind of thing where you meet somebody and then the first introduction of the person is more like, okay, shit, I just have to fix this situation. So it was at Allure
You want to
on the third. Yeah.
Well, because we're on air, you know.
Of course.
The
The other way. Flip it. Yes, sir.
You know where I'm not used to this kind of things?
Yeah, I'm not used to it. I thought you were an engineer in church or something like that.
No. I did not finish.
You're not finished. Okay.
So we're at Allure, and then, of course, like Kay and his brother, they came to grace our party, and for some reason, I thought they had gotten inside,
Oh wow.
but then they were still outside.
Talk to me.
So I get outside, actually, to bring someone else in, and then I see that, like, he was outside.
Wow.
And then Kay says, oh, is this how you treat, the customers were trying to have a good time? And then, trust me, like, I was like, oh, my God. I was like, oh, my God. Nah, but, after, like, a while, got them inside, took some shots, and,
We fixed the night.
yeah, of course. Alcohol always serves everything.
Yeah.
Like, you just simmer everything.
Balance.
You know now. But yeah.
I don't know.
But we have to give him the sounds. The sounds of
Yeah,
the
but,
sounds of
Hey, what's going on?
You've changed the. Why do you sound like that?
Hey, what did you put there?
Yeah, of course. And honestly,
Zanga Republic.
No. Is it just me or it sounds different?
Yeah, I don't know what you do with this configuration. Though.
no, it's fine. It's
adding
fine.
something else?
But you're good at me. Because that voice, carry your voice already sounds.
Yeah, it looks like we're in Nollywood, man.
I wouldn't like the voice sounds amazing in that.
It looks like we're in
No,
Nollywood.
it doesn't, man. But yeah, like when we K, typically, on if someone is searching for a job or something, they say, oh, tell me about yourself. And that's one of the questions I hate the most.
Why?
Trust me, I dislike that question, man.
So how
Trust
do you
me,
want to
like-
get the job?
You know,
pisses
get
me off.
story.
It pisses me off, man, because now you want me to think and even lie to you and all.
Yeah.
But then I believe that most of the time, if I'm having a podcast with somebody, the best way I usually get to know them, I usually ask them, K, if I were to be in the same class with you in high school, who would you, like what kind of guy were you in class? That simmers, that way you get to actually know people. Like for instance,
But high school, man.
back then,
A lot of people are not the way they were.
no, of course. But then, like, that gives.
Oh, you're trying to say find another way of asking the question.
No, it doesn't even ask the question. Like, for myself in high school, I was someone who was very, very. I wouldn't say I was very, very timid. But then, like, I was just.
You are bullied a lot.
No, I wasn't bullied a lot. I was the one that was even saving people from bullies.
Oh,
Superman.
activist.
Captain America.
Superman.
But yeah, okay, man. How's it going? Have you been?
I'm good, man. I'm good, my brother. How you all doing?
A couple of weeks ago, we came here to actually launch this place. Wonderful. Like, for anybody that missed it, in fact, you ought to be here. Akin was here, I believe.
Yeah, I was
You were
here.
here. Khalid was here, so like,
It's an amazing
Fantastic.
place,
fantastic.
The biggest we have in the city. No cap.
No, there's
Straight up.
There's nothing like this.
at all
That's why they call it the Zanga.
the Zanga. And then we are sitting with Kali, you said the co-founder of the Zanga. But then I don't know, like for me, he's the face of the Zanga. Apart,
So if anything happens, they are looking for him.
no, we are not going in that direction.
No, but that's
But
why-
yeah, okay, man. who were you in high school? I think that's how we should get started. You know.
Man, I would say all my life I've always been the chill guy in the room, man.
Oshie, the cool guy taking all the cheeks.
You know the cool guy who doesn't talk too much, but he knows what's going on.
Yeah. Let your actions speak for
You know,
you.
let your actions speak for yourself, right? You know, I've always been that behind the scene kind of guy, but
Nice.
if I'm not in the room,
Nice.
nothing happens in the room kind of thing, right? So
These are the people that make things happen.
Movers and shakers. That's it.
Nah, I appreciate that. But okay, how did you know Kali? Because I know you know Kali before.
you know the funny thing, we're actually just talking about that before,
Are you
before we
serious?
came in here.
Can you
And
move the mic?
Yeah,
to,
yeah.
like inside. Yeah.
like we're actually just talking about that before we came in here. You know, like my friend asked me, "How do you know Kali?" And I was like, "Shit, how do I even know this guy?" I was like, "Oh, it was during this guy's engagement. Yeah, his engagement." And I met you that night. You're like, "Yeah, you guys walk out at the gym close to my house." And I was like, "Sure, I'll come walk out with you guys, man." I was just like, "Shit."
yeah, that's
almost,
true,
it was
that's
like
true.
over 1 year, and then that was the next time I messaged you.
Are you serious?
That's actually true. Yes.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Niagara Falls. I'll
Yeah.
never forget it. Yeah.
Damn. Kali, a lot of people have stories of how they met you, man.
Man,
It's always. Sometimes I
always
see
Kali,
them. I know.
And this is just one of the positive moments
positive
I've
story.
heard.
I mean,
Every other stories.
I don't want to tell you how I
very
met that.
reward.
I will never want to tell you how I met this guy. I will remove that story from my life.
Why do you have to bring me?
Remove that story from my
Why do you have
life.
to bring me? Why do you have to bring me
No,
to
because they say
conversation?
how I met each other now. Part of my life.
How I met you wasn't the best as well. It goes both
No,
ways.
but what was my
want- I
when I
want to
met
hear
you, I
the
want to remove it. I want to remove it from my life. Can I remove it? The problem is, can I remove it from my life?
You can't.
I will try.
You can't. You can't.
No, but it was awesome. It was awesome, man. Kali, how have you been? Other than the fact that you dropped 45, on
No,
someone's
please.
leg.
I don't want that person coming for me. But
No, but you did. I mean, like
Allegedly.
Allegedly, yeah. No, not allegedly. It happened.
I don't know if K saw that. So K, the girl that was training with me at the gym, the girl saw on Friday. So the 45 bar accidentally dropped on her foot.
Shit.
I don't know if you saw it.
Today,
No, on that same day, same Friday.
Friday.
before she left.
Yes. So the workout was not complete.
And
So we moved from that location to the
this is the issue. I always tell you, stop training with girls. Just go and train.
They're training with me.
Okay.
What's the difference, I beg? What's the
They're
difference?
training with girls. You are the one enforcing
So they just gravitate
Now,
towards you.
the other way around.
One, you catch your loss.
Kali
The
saving
other,
his-
you don't.
Kali's saving his skin. Kali's saving his skin, but it's fine. It's fine. How about you, Akim? What's going on, man?
I'm chilling, man.
What's trending, man? This week was actually very, very chaotic.
In terms of
Listen, it started with, I don't know, like from the beginning of the week, the girl that got bricked. I'm not sure if you saw that.
Go what?
There was this girl that
bricked.
got bricked.
Oh yeah.
why are you laughing?
She
Bro?
didn't
That's
want to
fake.
give someone a number. Or something.
Listen, Mike, of course, no, it was shady because I didn't know they did realize that she had put up those kind of situations in the past. So it was
She
very, very.
looked like it though.
Listen, man. And then Tucker Carlson's interview with the guy that.
I better leave that one.
You don't have to go there.
There's some things. If it's Aki that can talk about that one, let that
You put my head on the chopping block. I mean,
Listen, man.
it's all good.
And then, of course, we said Friday. In fact, not Friday. Saturday with the US Open. Did you guys watch it? I mean, like the
There's
women's
some things
part.
I don't.
Are you serious?
There's some things. It's a good. You see, that the way they scream. I don't know why they do that sometimes, but
Bruh.
Have you played tennis before?
Listen.
I have. But it's fine.
No, it's not fine because you don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, that thing is stressful. Trust me.
Bruh.
No, it is, but it's not the sports I will invest my time to go play.
So aside football, what that's
Because there's one
Basketball.
thing. It's a good sport. Don't get me wrong, right? But with football, even American football, you're thinking in seconds. I love things.
Also,
that
sport,
think in seconds.
tennis, you're not thinking second.
Tennis,
Stop
technically,
now.
What are you thinking, man?
Stop now.
It's
It's not the
eye-hand
same.
coordination, man.
You see what I mean? It's high. This is a big debate, boys. You could do that, but look at, for example, right? In American football, you have seconds because the person, the movement is fast.
Yeah.
The person is moving, and you're trying to swap too many people.
I think for tennis is actually not time because these guys literally play for
That's what I'm saying,
for like
you know.
3 hours. I'm like,
It's not time.
What's going on?
So in American football, when I throw
doesn't
the ball-
matter. Doesn't
I know. Like it doesn't remove
No,
from
but I'm
complexity.
saying personally,
Yeah.
the way when you think in second, I'm talking about even less than a second. Look at, for example, in American football, when they throw the ball, remember how many seconds do you think the ball is in the air?
I don't know.
It depends.
I don't know. But yeah, like, the reason why I brought that
Let's
up was
forget about-
because
let's not go too deep. Let's go
this
too
wonderful lady, Coco, trust me, man.
Coca-Cola.
No, Coco.
Oh, the lady that.
Yeah, she won. Like, she actually came from behind and all, and then, you know, she did fantastically well. Today, I saw Djokovic won.
That's
like-
normal now.
As usual.
Listen, nah,
more.
nah, no, like,
There's
he
nothing
balled.
special about this.
He
Whether it's ball,
balled.
it's not ball. So do you expect Djokovic not to ball?
He
It would
balled.
have made sense if it's not
The
win.
guy that, as in, like, in the last Open, I don't know whether it was French Open or so. I mean, like, the 23-year-old guy that actually whooped his ass. Yeah, so, like, you know, sometimes you can go anywhere.
No, he allowed it. It's part of the sport. Sometimes it's scripted.
Oh, he
You know
allowed
that,
it.
right? Yeah.
I don't know that it's scripted, though. I don't know.
What would you say? What would you say? Yeah,
How you say it's
Hold on,
scripted,
hold on,
man?
hold on,
How you say it's scripted, bro?
Respectful, man.
I don't know. So hold on. So wait. Djokovic will go and then say, oh, you know what? Let me just let this slam go.
Yeah.
And then yesterday, Israel Adesanya lost his title.
Obviously, I expected that to happen.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Did you watch the fight?
There's something about being
Cocky. Or you want to say, what do you want
before
to
you
say?
walked into that. See, if you have a connection with the mind, the spirit, and the body, when you see someone walk into someone, you can tell if you're going to lose. Let me tell you, when Wilder walked into that ring, right? Before Wilder even walked in to go fight Fury, I told someone Wilder is going to lose. You know why?
Why?
Wilder was in the room lacing up, and Wilder was pacing. No, there's tension in him. The other guy sat down, was drinking yogurt.
That's his style now.
No, it's his style. But you know one thing?
What?
That one, it's not cocky confidence. Fury
relaxed.
knew he was going to beat him.
Yeah, there's the skill set is the differences was enough.
You understand what I
It was
mean?
too much.
Yeah, so sometimes when Israel walked in, I'm not going to lie, I thought maybe he might win the 50-50 chance. But that's where I saw him.
Yeah.
I wasn't confident, you know? And it's life, it happens.
Yeah,
So he
I've
will
not
come
seen
back,
I've not
come
seen
back.
Israel look like that before. Even the way he prepared for the fight, like I've not.
Like, was he
Exactly.
like he was distracted or what? Like,
No, there's family issues going on though. Hope you know that.
what do you mean with
So,
his girlfriend or what?
Yeah, those things affect you. There's no way.
Yeah,
you
it
can
does,
say
but
yeah.
I mean,
It does, because see, look at it. When you come home after training,
I'm not sure if he's still living with the girl though.
okay, maybe yeah, I don't know about that.
Yeah, he's no longer living.
So let's assume he's living with the person.
Yeah.
Okay, if you come home, you're training. You don't expect anybody, as they say, men need peace.
Yeah.
If you come back, all you're thinking, you want to be in that focus zone. You're eating food, resting. If you come
Yeah.
back and you're talking about another issue outside that will distract you from your focus. Right?
They were you off, yeah.
100%. I agree. And then Canada beat US in the.
Why people making a big deal about that?
No, I'm just saying, man. Like sometimes if
To win bronze,
if
oh.
any country
Bronze,
beats
bronze.
America,
That's what I'm giving context to win bronze.
yeah,
Oh, okay, I see what you mean.
Like-
a win is a win.
a win is a win, bro. Like,
But
medal.
let's be honest. America didn't take. This guy was watching. KD was watching US Open. They didn't take their full squad.
Oh,
yeah,
God,
those
see,
guys
let me tell
didn't
you, when
take
you
their
fail,
full squad.
when you fail, there's no
Don't take their
excuse.
full squad.
I know there's no excuse, but I'm
Okay.
still just giving context.
In
Yeah.
history,
that's a
in
good
history,
point.
they will not put, oh, KD was watching US Open.
Of course.
Wait,
But I'm just saying, but
The newspaper will put it here.
Now,
but to be honest, yeah,
KD did not have their full squad, excluding KD, LeBron. Oh, even Curry was not there.
It's fine.
Ballers was not there.
It's fine. Man, guys, today is, like I said, it's an awesome episode. We're here to talk about entrepreneurship, the challenges before success. Most of us have, started several endeavors. For some, it never comes to fruition. For some, it's because it's actually difficult, conceptualizing an idea, penning it down, sharing it with people, and beginning to put those things together. It takes a lot of time. And there's this saying that people only tell the woman that gave birth congratulations, but they never know how many attempts went on to do that. Yeah,
why is this guy smiling?
this guy's a moron.
Can you be serious?
I was really enjoying the saying.
I think you have to go all the way, like Kali, man.
Anything, man.
No, but Kali just had to.
The smile was loaded, man. It was like,
No, but listen, first time I saw, whatever it was that Zanga was, I was like, oh, like, what's Zanga? Trust me, the only place I've heard of anything called Zanga was in one of Wizkid's song. I think it was No Lily or so. And then he was
Yeah,
talking
it
about,
is.
yeah. And then I'm like, I don't know. And then I started seeing, pictures and all, and then, the concept, and, like they say pictures actually paint 1,000 words. Like, and then it started coming through. But then, guys, we are in Dizanga.
Yes,
actually.
sir.
And
Live.
then there's no better person to tell us what Dizanga is and what it represents. So I'm going to let Kay do that. And then, we begin to talk about how this wonderful idea came about, the challenges, involved, and, definitely like the plans. And he's going to actually share tips for us because I believe that so many people listening would actually want to, get started with one or two things.
Of course,
as
mechanic work and all those things.
I don't know. Anyway, maybe Akin wants to do mechanical.
Mechanical work here is honorable work.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
Even
what are you?
back
So
home,
what are
it's
you?
not work. It's just that you don't respect her.
No,
When
now
you have to
you
respect the mechanic.
you said that for a reason. Why do you?
These
why
are
do you
the
have to say
issues I
like that?
face. These are the issues I face.
Why do you have to say like that? Like it's bad work.
But then-
mechanics
No,
are
it's
casting
not bad
out, bro.
work.
Let's turn to Kay. Let's turn to Kay. So Kay, in fact, the name Zanga, where did that come from? Like some people will say, "Oh, I was just eating, and then and then all of a sudden, and but really, man,
I mean, there's an off the record answer to this.
Let's leave that
definitely,
one.
let's give us the official version."
But let's leave that one out of there, right? So, when I had this idea, right, I had a vision, and not just about the brand itself, but
Yeah.
I also had a vision about what I wanted the space to look like, right? So ideally, I wanted a space where, kind of like have a speakeasy vibe to it, right?
Okay.
Where you kind of walk into an experience you couldn't have envisioned before you actually got up to the space. So I wanted somewhere I could like walk up, and then you get to the spot and you're
Nice.
like, shit, like this is actually nice, right? So I wanted a name that kind of like fed into that
So
vision
did
kind of thing.
did the name come before the idea, or you already had
So-
the name?
So the idea was there. So when I started looking for a name, at least I had something I was working upon. You know,
Okay.
I was like, okay, this space is gonna look like this. Like, what would be a good name to kind of, like,
Yeah, give to
I was just playing around all this in my head, and
Yeah.
The official version of this is,
Yeah.
like, I probably went through was like, 40, 50 names. I'm not kidding. And I had different people I'll call up every day and
Yeah.
be like, what do you think about? That's the only
Nice.
thing I'll be on the call. I'll be
Yeah.
like, I could call Kali up and be like, Kali, what do you think about, you
Don't tell them I said Zanga.
no, I didn't call Kali at that point. But yeah, like went through a lot of names and, like one day this name just kind of like struck me. I was like,
Yeah.
damn, like I like this, right?
I
And, when you look at the meaning behind the word Zanga, it kind of puts the pieces together and
Yeah.
actually gives gives the space a meaning, the name, a meaning to the space.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. No, I get
it's
that.
English, man. But
I get.
Well, you can just switch your broken anytime.
Yeah,
man.
can we
It's it's fine, man.
We have subtitles.
We'll have subtitles.
So yeah, I mean that's how the name came about, man. It's just the whole lot of brainstorming. Like I'm one person that, I always overthink a lot of things, especially when it comes to business and money. I will sit down and overanalyze.
Of course, it's in your bloodline, so there's no point. There's no point. But then, going back a little bit, when we look at what we have here, for the most part, I would, if I'm coming from outside, I'll say, oh, it's for creatives. It's for people who, of course, if you want to do an event, you can definitely do that here. If you want to record like podcast, take pictures, do whatever it is. Do you have a background in that, or did you do something regarding this in the past that made you feel, damn, in KW there's actually no place to do this, and you're like, you know what? There's this thing. So my former boss used to say, players go and come, but the stadium remains. You understand?
The Barak.
deep,
Yeah.
deep.
The guy used to say, for us, we want to be the stadium and not just a player. What K has done is to be a stadium and not just a player. Because here, you want to record podcasts, you want to take pictures, you want to host events. You come here. The same way, like, okay, like Old Trafford. Ronaldo being one of the greatest has come and gone, but Old Trafford still remains Old Trafford.
100%.
In this space, you would have great... Joe Rogan can come to Waterloo. What are you doing, this guy?
No.
Joe Rogan can come to Waterloo and be like, you know what?
He needs a space.
Where is the sickest podcast space?
And it will be Zanga.
And it's going to be Zanga, and Joe is going to come record, but Joe is going to do what? Leave.
Yeah.
So looking back, like, did you have any background in as a creative, be it like music or be it like art or be it like photography or whatever?
Yeah,
Music.
so good question, man. Honestly, if I'm being honest, no. The answer is straight up no, right? Like, I've always worked in tech all my life, but there's always one thing that struck out with me. Like, anywhere I go, I always seek out a need and
Nice.
try to
Nice.
find a way to provide,
Nice.
like fit that need and, try to make something out of it. So, I came across this idea, randomly. We can definitely talk about that later.
Yeah.
But when I came across this idea, I came back from my trip and, like, Kitchener-Waterloo is the city I've lived in for
Nice.
a very long time. And I was like, I can bet there's no place that, like, there's really not much of this kind of things out here, right? And, I started looking and I was like, I saw a bunch in Toronto and I was like, why is really no one doing anything similar out here? I kind of saw the need, right?
Yeah.
Because honestly, if I came back and, they were like, one on every street,
Yeah, of course.
onto the next idea.
Yeah.
You get. But then, that kind of like struck out and it's like, there's really not much of that out here. And recently I started meeting a lot of, entrepreneurs, like small business owners, people trying to do something for themselves, I'd met Kali, Kali does photography. I've met, event planners, I've met decorators, like people who tend to require such kind of service.
Yeah.
And, it's like, okay, there's really not so much options. Everybody goes to one place or the only place we have in the city. I was like, well, there just might be a need here.
Yeah.
Like the city is growing every day. Like there's so much development. A lot of people are moving down here. I was like, I saw the opportunity and honestly, I just went for it.
Now that was a sick one.
Yeah.
You guys can jump in whenever you feel the need, though.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's something that normally happens when an idea comes to you. For the most part, we share it with people, and I believe like this is where the learning starts from. I mean, for people that are listening, it is very, very important the person you share your idea with,
Sure.
because that person can either make or break it.
Yeah, I agree with that, man. 100%.
So you can share an idea with somebody, and the person is going to be like, "Oh mate, are you serious? How many photographers do you have in that place that you want to do this thing?"
Yeah, and I feel like it happens almost 98% of it.
And then you know what?
You change your circle.
That even kills the idea before it even gets born. Because okay, you believe it could work, but then the people around you,
They
I don't want to say they are
just-
small-minded
just
or
lack
what
enthusiasm.
exactly.
Yeah.
Because for the most part, there's this saying that people fail most of the time because they did not want to go to the thrills of winning. But then they were just so scared. Okay, fine, let me just stay in my comfort zone. Because looking at the work that had gone in here or that have gone in here, plus the money and all, I believe at some point, even when he has even started the work, some people will, oh more man, this place is chop money. Are you sure? So when you came up with the idea, Kazi, sorry,
Okay, go ahead.
when you came up with that idea, how was it received by the first set of people you shared it with? And then did they actually buy into that vision? Because it is one thing to conceptualize an idea and have it in your head. And then it's another thing to have people who share that same vision with yourself and say, you know what? Fantastic, let's add this. How about you? Did you think about this part? Did you think about this part? So like, how was it? So they usually say, how? So me, I usually call it, how did you cook it? Because right now you just put it out there and say, listen man, I thought about this. Let's try and steer it. So those first set of people you shared it with, like did they buy into the vision immediately, or you just had to be the one man pull and say, you know what? I will show you guys.
Honestly, this thing you just said is very true. Like when you have an idea, the people you tell can actually make or break it.
Yeah.
So, this won't be my first venture ever, and if there's something I've learned over the years is be careful where you pitch your idea at the initial stages.
100%. 100%.
When I started off with this,
Take notes. Masterclass.
Jot things down.
When I take something out.
honestly, when I started this project, I probably didn't tell anyone about it for like 3 months.
I like
You know,
that.
even my closest of friends.
I like that.
I didn't tell anybody, man, because I'm not gonna lie. I woke up every day and doubted myself. Because when you're doing something you've never really done before, no matter how confident you are, no matter how much finances you have to
Yeah.
play with,
Yeah.
no matter
There's
you know
just
what
that-
your background is, there's always gonna be that lingering
Yeah.
doubt, you know,
100%.
that self, you know, that
100%.
You do it.
you know, can you do it? Would you actually be successful? But you know, there's something I always told myself with every business I've done in my life is, if there was ever a blueprint, like certified blueprint to it, it won't be profitable
100%.
because everybody will be doing it.
100%.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And you can do as much market survey as you can do. You can do every analysis. You can pull all the data in the world. It can help the business, but nobody can ever tell if a business is going to be successful, you know, or not when they start it.
Until you start.
Because external factors tomorrow can kill. If someone started up a business with data from 20 years prior to COVID, and COVID happened, he didn't picture that one in
Shut
his
down,
plans,
though.
right?
Shut down, yeah.
Exactly. And,
Yeah.
you know, like, anything can happen.
Yeah.
No matter how good your planning or your analysis are, anything can happen. But if there's one thing I've said, and I've learned in entrepreneurship, it's you can't be afraid. You have to be ready
go
to
for
take
it.
the risk. You have to be ready for failure. You know, like failures build the bridge for success.
100%.
Always, all the time.
100%.
You will never learn how to be successful if you've never failed, because you get. That's why when you brought up, you know, Israel's story, you know, like I was like, sometimes it's actually good for these guys to
To actually
fail.
go down. Yeah.
Because
yeah.
because you come back stronger, you know, and that's what makes a winner at
Exactly.
the end of the day.
Exactly.
A winner is not someone who has always been winning all his life. It's someone who has failed and been able
bounces
to
back.
and bounces
Yep.
back,
Yep.
right? So honestly, when I started, back to the question, when I started this, I honestly didn't really tell anyone, because first off, I already doubted myself. I didn't need any other extra. Anybody,
Someone to nail the coffin.
Anybody to nail the coffin that was already lying in, right? So
Yeah.
honestly, I'll come here every evening, you know, like after work, I'll come here, you know, I'll sit on the floor, you know, there was really no chair held here then. I'll sit on the floor, I'll just look at this space for like 2 hours. I'll be like, what am I even doing?
No, you know what?
get?
I was going to get to that because I was going to ask you, because there's actually a process. So you first of all thought about the idea, and then you're
Yeah.
like, okay, you know what? I need to find the space. And then of course the next step was, bruh, this place is far from not that it is far, but like the location, it's a perfect location.
Yep.
But then looking at where it is, finding the perfect spot to actually encompass that vision you actually had. I'm trying to think, how did you now nail this place down? Or did you always have this space?
Or were there
and then you
other
were like,
spaces?
Yeah, and then you were like, what did you consider, you know, while you were trying to pick up this space? You know, as well.
So I already mentioned earlier, right? Like when I started off, I had a vision for the space.
Yeah.
You know, I already dreamt about what I wanted the space
Yeah.
to look like,
Yeah.
right? So, and finding the space was obviously very difficult, especially when you're venturing into business as a new business,
Yeah.
because a lot of people don't want to work with you because it's really not past record
course.
at that point.
Of
you know,
course.
and it tends to be very expensive. A lot of people fear that you won't be able to pull through after
Yeah.
the first
Yep.
few months.
Yep.
So, but you know, like we looked at a lot of spaces, and honestly, I'll walk into places and I'll be like, you know, no, like
This is
I
not
don't
it.
want it, right?
Yeah.
And I remember back then, you know, like I actually had a few realtors that I was working with, right? And you know, when you talk to them and be like, okay, my business is just new, it's less than 1 year, you know, we've never done this before, we've never owned any space. In fact, you just stop hearing back from them. You know, like, in fact, one told me one time, like, yeah, I'll send you like a list that we'll go look at. And
you never heard from
honestly,
him?
I never heard from him again. Next time he sent me a message, oh, my phone fell in water. I was like,
How would someone say their phone fell inside water?
exactly. So I'm just like, come on, man. Like, we're not in high school again, man. Like, this
Just be a man up.
Exactly. So
good.
so eventually, you know, like I play a lot online, right? So I was searching online and I happened to come across this space, and you know, like I pitched the whole idea to, you know, like about what we're trying to do, you know, our business ideas and all that kind of stuff, right? And you know, I feel like when something is yours, it's gonna be yours,
100%.
right? Because even from when I walked into the door for the first time, you know, it had the stairs, like just walks upstairs. I was like, shit, like this is exactly what I didn't even know I was ever gonna find that, right? But you know, it's just a vision I had in my head. I was like,
Just
as
like
soon as
coming together.
Exactly. As soon as I saw it, I was like, this is what I wanted. And ideally, wanted a space that was around like 1,500 square foot to like 2,000 square foot. You know, like that's what I was always looking out for. But we walked into this place and it was like 4,000 square foot, like double the size of what we were looking for. And I was like, damn, like, you know. But at that point, you know, I was not smart enough to know that the bigger the space is, the bigger
the money.
the bigger the money. So I didn't think that far. Yeah, I was still very excited. You know, and we did everything. We talked about the business plan, everything we're trying to do, and it went smoother than I expected. And
Nice.
That's how we got in here, man. Like as soon as I saw this space, I was like, I can make this work. Like I actually like this. It kind of fits into the vision I already had before. I even walked into this space for the first time, and it just made everything easier, right? And that's one thing I want to point out. No matter what you want to do, even if you don't have a clear plan on how you want to go about it, at least have a vision for it.
Yeah,
because it actually helps you. Because when you're now going, start the whole planning and everything, it's easier for your plans to actually fall in place, and just makes the whole process a bit easier for you on that end.
Not us.
Yeah. Do you know what's funny? What people don't understand is
Go straight to the point, too. Go straight to the point.
We need it. We can't be yourself, the original. What is this guy? Let's
you know
go.
what's funny? So since Dora, who was the other person who was on the podcast, she's been telling everyone go straight to the point. We don't understand sometimes
You have to.
you have to be decoding
Build
and
up.
decoding.
No, you're not decoding. You're rigmaroling.
But seriously, if you knew how this place was before, I say, K.
If you have pictures of it, like I actually want to put it on this part of the video.
I say, my brother, K. When I walked in here, I said, K turned into a handyman. I saw this guy on the roof.
Oh, that you did work
He even got to the extent he wanted to do the lights.
himself.
I said, young man, this is where handyman
This is where you
work,
caught.
eh? My handyman
You are
work.
crossing the line.
If it's not painting, once it comes to anything electric, water, I leave it for you.
I mean, I did plumbing myself.
Or even the plumbing.
Are you serious?
Yeah, so I left. I saw him.
Is it your first time or
Was it
your
first
first
time?
My first time, man. It was actually my first time doing a lot of things like painting. I've never painted before. I've never fixed floors before. I've never, done some electricals before.
No, I told him not to do that.
I've never done, but I think that's also, one thing. Like when I first started off as well, I didn't have the time because I was doing a whole lot of things, and I just started the project, work and everything. So I didn't have the time to actually work in here, right? So I always used to bring contractors to do one thing or the other. Honestly, I brought in a contractor once to actually paint one of the studios in here, and I paid almost 3,500.
What?
Are you serious?
I'm thinking about it right now. I'm like, bro, you're actually stupid. And I had people want to come in here and do things, and they were quoting me like,
crazy,
tens
ridiculous
of thousands
amount?
of dollars, and I was like, bro, like it's never that deep, man. So at one point, I just had to, thank YouTube University, of course.
Yep, all the time.
There's nothing you want to do out there. You can learn how to fly a plane on YouTube.
I beg, don't enter that plane.
Don't start.
Don't enter that.
Anything plain surgery, leave that one. I know it's there, but leave that.
So like every day I'll come in here, and I just kind of like. I'm making all these things sound easier than they actually
Of course.
But, I'll come in here, like we always wanted to start small, right? So we'll take one small room, just map the whole place out on a whiteboard and be like, okay, we'll start in this port, we'll do this work. So we'll tear that down. Trust me, we had more failures than success in terms of, building and everything. But that's one thing, man. You never really know your skill sets
Until you
actually try.
Until there's a need
Until
for it.
there's a need, right?
Yeah.
So I never knew I could paint. Now if you tell me to paint a room, I'll paint it in 1 hour for you.
Okay. You never know your talent is waiting for you.
I mean, see,
Why do you guys this
people should
guy?
learn something. You have to be comfortable with making mistakes. In
Yeah.
life. Like mistakes are part of life, and I feel like that fear always holds us back from doing a lot of things, right? Because you don't know how to paint. What's restricting you from knowing how to paint?
Actually.
Because you're scared that you're going to mess
Fuck
it
it
up.
up, yeah.
Right? But what if at the back of your mind, you're like, okay, if I mess it up, I mess it up. I learn how not to mess it up the next time.
Yeah.
You get, and then you do it, and surprisingly, you'll be surprised. You won't even mess it up the first time.
100%.
You get, and even if you mess it up the first time, now you know how not to mess it up the next time. You get, and you do it once, you do it twice, and you become a master at it, man. Like,
You're actually right, because it's one of the things I tell everybody. Everyone you see around you, they're all ideas walking around.
Yeah.
True.
You see everyone, we talk to Akina.
Everybody has an idea,
And
man.
probably have a book of ideas.
Yep.
He has not done any of them. It's not his fault. Remember, Kay, we talk about this sometimes. It's the fear of failure. The reason why we didn't have so much of African restaurants here was everyone is like, if I do it, will I succeed? 1, 2, if I throw this money, would it just be a waste? Will you buy it? Well, why would you haven't tried it?
No, but so let's
Yeah.
actually touch on that a little bit. I mean, that failure that stops people from trying,
Yes.
that stops people from, let's see whether it works. If it does not work, okay, cool. Like everybody move, like life goes on. Nothing happens to you.
There will be another adventure.
Your arm, you're like nobody cuts your arm or do anything. It's just okay. Yes, it did not work the way I thought it was going to work out. But then, for the most part, you would learn something.
Let me play devil's advocate.
Yeah, but then like what I want to say is where does that fear actually start from? Is it because of most people are scared of what other people are going to say and be like, you see, I told you now, I told you it was not going to work.
Let me chime in. I feel like people are different. Some people are not just built for certain things.
Well,
I feel like
yeah.
it's not everyone that can come and be creative and start something and finish it.
Yeah.
I feel like people, they are more of like followers. And, if you bring an idea, you tell it to them, they can be like, okay, let's do it. They can't come up with the idea, they don't see the vision, but if you tell them, do this, they'll follow it to the T. So I feel like there are different people and, people, it's just about playing your part and knowing your role, right?
That's
So that's what you said is true because everyone cannot be entrepreneur.
Or a leader.
no, of course.
Because we need people that work for the entrepreneurs.
No, of course we do.
You understand?
We do.
Because when K came up with the idea here, if K told someone that first month, he might not do it. Because you know why? Because of the society you come from, right? I don't want to go too deep on that in some area, but some people are not used to big ideas. Not digital, because there's one thing moving away from the digital idea. Digital idea, if you fail, some people might not see your failure too.
No, it's hidden now.
You get what
It's
I mean?
hidden.
Yeah.
But when you move it to hardware, something that is physical, something people can pass and point to.
Yeah, and it's also cost, like...
Yes,
it's more cost. Yeah,
people will be like, that Mama Ngozi joint is closed though. See, those things affect people. So you always, even from back home, even when the thing is failing, people will find a way. Even if they change the person out of the shop, they'll still.
But honestly, like, is it a cultural thing?
That's why I said I don't want to go to.
No, because
Honestly, I don't think it's a cultural thing. I think it's more of like people's environment, right?
Environment, yeah.
Like what kind of environment raised people?
Yeah.
Like
Who
if
raised
you grew up in a let's say in a family now where your parents were business people and you always saw your parents, like hustling and doing one importation, exportation, bringing in money and everything. Trust me, there's a high chance, that would be...
they're going to follow suit. Yeah.
Exactly. If you grew up where your parents were more conservative, it's like go to school, get a small job with the government, just buy food. If you can buy fuel, it's okay, you'll be all right. You get your mindset. So,
Content.
yeah, and honestly, I always tell myself, like, when I have children, I will allow them. I can't limit their mind, their thinking. I feel a lot of people, their thinking are very limited that they can't even fathom all the wonderful things you can do. I always tell people, you can do anything you want to do in this life, man. You just have to believe it. You just have to take that risk. You just have to take that first step. What's the worst that happen? You fail, and that's the failure that keeps holding people back.
But I wouldn't
back to
like- I
that
wouldn't-
failure.
I wouldn't lie to you. It's not just the failure, T. The consequences of the failure. That's for what that person think. Because T, look at it. When you open a hardware environment or something you produce, T, people are not looking at. People are saying, if you watch people most times, what would that person? What would people say?
So you care about other people's opinion.
Oh, T. Let me tell you the truth. 90% of the world do.
Yeah, I feel like people do,
People
but
do.
there's this thing where everyone
Yeah.
is trying to act like they don't.
They don't.
Yeah.
But people do.
Which is fine.
Yeah.
I feel like
Yeah.
it's okay not to care about what people are saying to a certain degree. Like,
Yeah.
care about it, but don't allow it.
Overtake.
Don't internalize it. You can always pick something from people. That's what I feel.
But mind you, it's hard though. Because we're just saying it because when you're in that frame, right? Imagine you own a food place and all of a sudden they bump the price of the place you listen by 3,000.
Yeah.
you cannot afford it again. You are going to think, what will people say that my man Gozi is not here?
Kali, let me
ahead.
paint this scenario. I
Paint
remember
something
when you
once.
started. I mean, like officially, like your photography
Yeah.
thing, around 3 years ago.
Yeah.
I remember, I would sit there and say I saw the journey, him starting from taking pictures,
Which
and
is on my
posting.
phone.
It's your phone. You didn't
and
have a
posting-
camera then.
Yeah, and because he was trying it out.
Yeah.
And posting pictures like, okay, so he said he was going to be doing this everyday challenge. But right now you're slacked already. I don't expect.
No, he has clients now.
Hey, of course, you're now
Money
paying
is,
his bills now.
right?
But back then, Kali would take pictures
We started with 50 days.
and actually post every day. Every day. Kali's outside in the middle of the night
Taking pictures.
taking pictures.
Oh, yeah. I
You
still
know?
do that now, though. Yeah.
Doing all of those things. And then I remember that back then, there were so many, I call them detractors because that's actually what they are. People that look at what you're doing and they're like, oh, guys, not only you that have been doing this thing. It's not just it's not just you, who have thought about this thing, that why are you getting into this? So trying to, draw both of you and get your opinion on it. When you come up with this sort of ideas and then you've actually started, there will be a point in the middle where you'll be like, come on, man, this is not as easy as I thought it was. So
But T,
let me drop it.
let me shock you. Before
It happens. It happens, and then you're like, in fact, first of all, you begin to think, oh my God, I'm already halfway in. I've already invested X, Y, Z. So what keeps you going? Is it the fact that, nah, man, we just have to get to the finish line? Or you are like, or that thought does not come in at all, and you're like, listen, whatever happens, happens. Or you are like, at this point, I don't care. Let's just go. So I actually want, because trust me, when you are doing things like this, especially when, I'll give you an instance. Kay said, when he that he was working and didn't even have time and come with contractors to actually do some of it, like some of the work and all. Until he said picking up, the tools to do those things himself. There were days you were here by yourself.
Night.
No, I'm literally just saying, there were days you were here by yourself, and then I'm sure at one point you'd have just sat there in one corner, you're just like,
No, you need to tell
and
them.
the only thing
what
in
am
your
I
head,
doing?
the only thing in your head is that vision that you have. Like that is the only thing in your head. And then sometimes, let's be honest, we are humans. It gets tiring. You're just like, damn. In fact, some people take breaks. Not just one, they take breaks. So how do you keep that fuel burning necessarily to get to this point? Because I believe that there must have been I don't want to say several rest points, but there must have been moments where you were like, oh boy, you get out this thing they do. I don't know.
Honestly, I think it's a very common feeling. And any new entrepreneur or anybody new in business who will tell you they don't doubt themselves every day is probably not telling you the full truth, right?
Yeah.
But there are days, I don't want to say how many days a week, probably 7 out of 7 days, I kind of question myself about some of the things I do, especially, due to this project, right?
Yeah.
But there's one thing that always keeps me going. Is this word. Failure is not an option where I'm from. So where I'm from, we don't do failures. There might be setbacks, but we're not failing. And I honestly say failure is not when you fail. It's actually when you stay down where you fail.
It's when you accept it.
Yeah, so there are definitely challenges that come up all the time, that will make you question, why am I even doing this? Why am I doing this? Just this weekend, I was home I said, let me take some rest, right?
Yeah.
And I was home for almost the whole weekend. And I was like, shit, I actually miss just sitting down on the weekend day and
Not doing anything.
and watching TV, man. I honestly can't remember when last I
did that.
on a weekend or even on a weekday, I just sat down and I was like, okay, today I'm not doing anything. I'm just going to watch television, order food, and just stretch our leg.
Yeah.
I miss those things, man. I miss, just not thinking about
Yes.
business or but I know it comes with time, right? Obviously at some point it's everything's gonna fall in place.
Yeah.
Also pilot.
Better,
Yeah.
exactly, and kind of like run itself, which happens with everything as long as you keep being consistent and you're working towards a goal, right? But for me, I would just say that sentence, like failure is not an option where I'm from. It keeps me going in everything. Like I just know I can't fail.
Nice.
Like my mom will always tell us when we were growing up, is like, failure doesn't have any brothers, but success has a lot.
A lot.
He has plenty of village
A
brothers where
lot.
he can,
Community.
and he has a whole community, right? And so I just think about all these things, and it keeps me going because I'm
Yeah.
like, I don't want to be that guy that they tag that. Okay, didn't pull through with this plan.
Yeah,
or,
he started it,
Didn't pull through. Okay, you've already invested time. You invested, mental capacity, your mental capacity into
Yeah.
it. You've invested not just money, a whole lot of things that you could possibly invest. And then at one point you're like, okay, I'm not doing this again. Now you feel because you didn't see it to the end, right? Yeah.
That's a solid one. Now you started the project. It's coming into place. There were detractors at the beginning. Now things are beginning to fall into place. The vision is coming alive. We know what usually happens to some of those detractors. They begin to come back. As I say, you don't do them. We're already doing it. Were there those people, and then how did you entertain them? Because it's very, very important that people who doubt you, for the most part, in the beginning, they then come in and they're like, oh man, the guy's actually doing it though. It's actually doing it though. Let's go and support. Let's go and paint one door. Let's go and do it. Yeah, of course. Of course. And these were people that in the beginning, they're like, I'm busy, Jerry. But now you're no longer busy. Now you have time to come and do something. So we're there, those people at that point. And then so it's a two-way thing, because sometimes when I see those people, I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, oh man, what are you doing here? But how were you able to handle that? And then how have you been able to necessarily maybe put them at arm's length, or just the entire situation of people who never believed?
Yeah.
And then now it's here. Because after that, I want you to actually speak about Zanga and what is in Zanga. Like there's a wonderful event place. There's a podcast room which we are sitting in.
Yes.
There's a place for, like, I actually want you to actually, like, go into that. But then those detractors who did not believe in the beginning, and then when this place was now coming into fruition, they now had time, and then they're now, in fact, they're the ones that are not even hitting you up right now and saying, how far now? When will they go to that place now? And then you yourself, you'll be like, when are they climb roof, they do electrician work. You are not here though. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'll say I've been opportune to have like a very wonderful support system.
Nice.
Like when it comes from friends and
Nice, wonderful.
family and everybody, right? So there's one thing I think a lot of people who know me know already is when Kay say he wants to do something,
Just leave him.
just leave him. Don't even try, because as long as I put my mind to something,
Yeah.
unless it's me that wakes up and say, okay, let me be the one that discourage myself. I don't listen to people. I really don't allow people's opinion about things get to me.
Yeah.
I guard my mental space.
Nice.
Very well.
Nice.
I mind what I let into my head. Because I feel like that's the first place for failure to start.
Yeah, 100%.
Like
100%.
when people start letting their doubt into you and feeding
100%.
you with negative things.
There's a famous saying for that a ship does not sink despite it's at the ocean until water starts getting into it.
Yep.
So it's very, very important, like, the people you surround yourself with. Yeah.
And also like just guarding your mental space, right? So I think I didn't really have so much of just kind of
People.
distractors, right? Maybe another thing might have been because I didn't tell people from the
Nice.
very onset.
Yeah.
Because honestly, I felt like if a lot more people saw this space when I first got it for the first time, maybe there might be more. But when I started letting people come in and actually see the space, things that started
Going
falling
in.
into place.
Yeah.
So it was more like people come in and be like, "Oh, you're actually doing it,
Yeah,
right?"
yeah.
Like, okay, your vision, it's falling in place.
Yeah.
It makes sense, and all this kind of thing, right? So I think for me that was the trick I used to navigate that level of distractors at that point in time. You know,
Nice.
I made sure I didn't let so many people on to the idea at at the initial stages, and even when I started doing it, I was very careful about the kind of people I talked to, right?
Nice.
Because you know, I didn't want to feed my head space. Like I already doubted myself. Like I said, I didn't need any extra person to help me out with that. You know, so I was very careful with that. And you know, like so far, like a lot of people who knew about this project, like friends and families,
Yeah.
and you know, like business associates and every other person, like everyone has been very supportive, like from the set go, you know, about the whole idea, you know, doing the work, and you know, like up to this point, you know, like we're trying to build the business. So,
Nice. So
yeah.
what is in Dizanga? When you climb the stairs, like you already envisioned, what do people see? What is in here? For someone listening, and they're like, these guys have been talking about Dizanga. What is in this Dizanga
You should
location?
come and see it.
Oh, it's better.
So,
it's better seen than
I want
said.
I want you to just like paint a picture for them in their head, and then, you know,
They'll just climb the
when you
staircase.
climb downstairs, what do they see? What can they do here? How, like, paint the mood for them, because trust me, you guys did an absolute excellent work, especially with regards to the lightning.
Oh yes.
Myself and Kali, we talk about lightning too much.
Yes, lighting is important.
Don't let me call out some people, but then you've been to Sobeys,
Sobeys.
yeah, just beside Walmart.
No, he doesn't go there. It's the growth is too much for my brother.
It's too much.
It's too much for
He's
him.
Dollarama is going to.
No, it's not Dollarama. He goes
I
to
don't
Fresco.
blame you. I don't blame you.
My brother can only buy.
I've been to one Sobeys, but it's not this one. It's not the one
I
close.
know the one you went. That one they're closing it down.
Yeah. So, but like a major difference between Sobeys and Walmart is lightning.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Trust me. Especially like when you come to like the fruits, there's a way the lightning in Sobeys is. Like these are some of the things like we actually look at. And then when you come into this place, the lightning is actually very, very warm. You know, it's not shouting, and then it's not like
Welcoming.
And you know, like that's what shows you that a lot of thinking, you know, actually went into, you know, all of this. So like for people who are listening, because we have a lot of listeners on Spotify and, you know, Apple, when I want to just paint the picture of what Dizanga is, what they can do, the mood necessarily, so that somebody is going to be like, oh man, I have to go to this Dizanga place and see what these guys are talking about.
So Zanga, right?
Yeah.
I mean, ideally, when you walk into Zanga, you know, like there's a stairs that takes you up, right? And like I said, we wanted to give the whole space like a speakeasy vibe. You know, like you really don't see what is inside from the outside to actually get in. So as soon as you walk up the stairs, you know, like in Zanga here, we have like different studios in here. You know, like right now we have like 3 studios, and we still have like a space for one more studio, you know, which we're still trying to like decide what we want to do out of there. Kali knows. But
The idea I gave
Kali, hold the secret. Kali, hold the secret, please.
But you know, like we have different studios in here. We have a studio A, which is kind of like our biggest studio.
Nice.
And usually, like that studio is usually set out for. We usually stage it all the time. You know, like it has different sets around the studios that people will come in and, you know, like shoot, you know, different kind of content, YouTube, like podcasts,
Nice.
you know, have photo shoots, you know, branding sessions, and you know, like anything around that. And because of the size of the studio, we also, you know, are targeting like hosting like social and corporate events out of there.
Nice.
Also like, you know, different kind of gatherings or, you know, celebrations, you know, birthdays, baby showers. We even host weddings as well. Like we've
Nice.
hosted 2 weddings, you know.
Nice.
Already?
So actually, it's actually the
Wow.
perfect. It's the perfect for all of that. It's like the perfect space, to be honest.
Yeah, so you know, like we want to host like a lot of events out of there. We also have like an art show. Like we're trying to see if we can, you know, put together like some local artists that want to come in. So you know, like those are the kind of things that we want to do out of there. And you know, it's like one of our biggest studios, right?
Yeah.
And I'll go back to actually one of the purpose of Zanga. So the whole idea, one of the ideas behind Zanga was actually we we wanted to create like a hub for the community where people around the community, creatives, entrepreneurs, business owners could actually come together
Yeah.
or use our space to actually do a whole lot of, whatever you can think about it, like let's help you bring that vision to life kind of thing, right?
Nice.
So that's actually what we're trying to do, within all the different studios in our space. And then to the left, when you get up the stairs, is our, portrait and photography studio,
Nice.
We do have like different sets in there, like a backdrop, lighting. And that's one cool thing about us, like, we provide the basic equipment for all our different studios.
Wonderful.
Which kind
Wonderful.
of, because part of the vision behind Zanga was wanted to make it flexible, affordable, and very easy to use.
Nice.
Right? So, you're coming in here to shoot, like have a photo session and you're not wondering how you get all your flashlights and rig lights and all
Yeah.
these kind of things into
Yeah.
the studio, right? And the beautiful thing about it is like everything is included in your booking, so we don't charge
Extra.
any extra, like
Nice.
a whole lot of every other studio.
That's sick, though.
Does these days. So we have that studio over there, and then we have the studio we're sitting in here,
Yeah.
which is more like our recording studio and our podcast room for things like what we're doing right now. Like
100%.
letting the world hear our voices, like coming here.
All
and
the way.
People do all kind of different recordings in here, like short films, even photo sessions as well. And then we have like one more studio, which, we're still trying to like brainstorm around what we want to do around out of there.
Yeah.
We're just trying to get feedback from our customers and people who actually use our space and, trying to just see what is needed in the community that is actually lacking and what we can actually use that space to do. So, like that's Zanga for you. And, like we're situated in Borden Avenue in Kitchener, which, like driving here this evening, I'm sure you enjoyed the drive into this street.
Of course.
You know,
Of course.
it's like-
Although Kali, man, like the way the guy drives, he thinks I have 9 lives, but I just have one.
You guys drive the same, Sean.
No, but you have to say.
What do you mean?
You have to give me this.
I don't know why you guys.
I am one of the safest drivers. out
No,
there.
you're not. You guys hit the bend too hard.
No.
What's the car
Every
meant for?
turn.
What's the car meant for?
Why do you accelerate on when you're turning into a
No,
street?
you know what it does? You have to be ready for anything.
You're not in Formula One, bro. Stop.
My car is the most Formula One.
You think you're driving BM,
No. It's the most a BM Ford.
BM Ford.
But it's actually, okay, you hit on a lot of things that's really interesting about life and everything. See this life, I would have started YouTube 2009. I still have that video. I'll find it. See. My friend who came, 2009, 2010.
What you be doing? Skits?
No, it was actually around, let me say 2011, because 9 we had the video, we did it about fitness. We were watching Hot Twins.
Oh, Hodge Twins, yeah.
We are watching,
I know Hodge Twins.
we
No
were-
Hodge Twins.
Yeah.
Yeah, those guys were into fitness. We were watching the likes of, I'm trying to remember their name.
KSI.
No, not KSI.
KSI,
no.
okay.
No, KSI, I've not even started that time.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, so there's some guys we were watching. We'll make the video and we'll just keep it on the computer. Like, we'll say, I'm serious. We're like, let's not post it. We're not wearing shirts. Then we'll put it back. So, thinking about those things, just me and my friend, we're just thinking about it now. I'm wondering, why didn't you just post that video? We'll make it, we'll make the video. Then. We're making the video from my computer webcam. So it was my computer webcam we were making some of those videos,
Yeah.
It was so funny. It was a desktop, right?
It
So
was
easier to-
180p.
Well, I wanted, I'm telling you, man. But it just shows that thing. I'm going back to the idea a little bit what Kay said about sharing the idea with people. My friend said, don't post it. I just agreed. Even me too, I'm like, it's true, I'm not wearing shirts. One of them, I was wearing my boxers. I was like, no.
What kind of videos are you guys?
Guy,
I don't want to see this video.
Your mind is going
Thank God you not draw the video, please. Thank God you not draw the video.
Hey, this video, I did not know like would have retrieved that
Your
video.
career would have been
Would have- my
before it
mom-
started.
what industry would you have been in now?
I would have been making money. As Adam 22.
Oh, just Adam 22.
As Adam 22.
Oh my God, man.
But it's just, I think you might not know that you inspire people by what you do. You know why I said that? It's exactly how my gym, I won't call it career, but how my gym story started.
Progression, yeah.
Right? I tell you, friends are the worst people on earth.
Ah.
No. Believe me. They might
They
not.
done this guy dirty, bro.
They might not.
It sounds traumatized, but go on. Land.
According to how they say, who hurt you? But they might not tell you that they're against what you're doing, but just their behavior. You know, there's a kind of Abana, is it every day? Are you even seeing any results? Yeah, you know, Nigerians, we can talk anyhow, you know, just which is fine. But those things, it gets to you no matter how strong you are.
Yeah.
So sometimes just tell yourself, you know what, I'm not telling this person what I'm doing. I'm just going to keep going.
Straight.
You too, to get to your head, but this thing, nothing happened, you know, chest is flat.
Straight.
You see? But when you don't focus on the outcome, the result come.
And I think that's
Absolutely.
something we should.
Because
That's something we should hit on.
the reason I
that's
say
something we should hit on
because the reason I
because-
say that is, sorry, Key, 1 second. The reason I say that is, I think when I came here, I told Key, did you take photos of all these things? Because you know what photos does? It shows you progressions.
Yeah.
Like pam. Taking it every month. You look back, I'm like,
No, it's
so
important.
This roof was like this.
It's important.
I
It's
went
important.
all this because nobody. Sometimes, according to what they say, you go explain tire, no evidence. Those are evidence of.
No, it's
Sorry, go
important.
ahead.
No. Like actually, going back to what you just said. You know, it's important, and I believe we've had a conversation about the gym. Myself,
Yeah.
you and Charles.
Yeah.
Most of the time, we focus on the end goal, like the destination. Of course, we have that vision painted in our head. Okay, yes, that this is where I want to be. But then I'll be honest with you, like me, I've started so many things. I've done so many things. You've been there almost like half, you know, and through the way. For the most part, if you don't enjoy that process, if
no
if
point.
you don't enjoy the process, man, and you're just waiting to get to the end, to the destination, you would get to your destination and you just be like, Amo, what the hell?
Might not even get there.
You might not even get it.
That's
Yeah.
true. Yeah.
And just
Yeah.
to go off what you said, I started realizing, especially this year, there are people that when I have ideas too, I cannot tell them. Because once the moment I say it, they might be interested, but what starts to happen is the frequent questions they ask start to kill it.
Okay.
No, but
Before
sometimes
you know-
I like those. No, sometimes I actually like those frequent questions because I always love people to challenge me and say, "How about this?
Absolutely.
How about this? Have you
But-
considered this? Have you
but-
considered this?"
Just asking questions without action is just vain.
You know that he said, sorry, Aki, because he hit
No, and
somewhere.
again, it depends on how they're asking those questions, though.
because
Are they asking those questions to inquire to know how it could work, or are they asking the questions to actually malign like the idea?
So that's the thing. Whether their intention is good or bad, or quote unquote, you know, good or bad. Let's use that.
Yeah,
Let's
yeah.
stick with that. It doesn't matter because what happens is let's get dirty. Let's start working. You know, we figure these things out on the way. So right now, there was something I was working on. Not the first time I'm working with this person. You know, the first time, same thing happened. Second time, same thing happened. I said to myself, anytime I bring this idea person, it is DOA.
dead on the iPad.
DOA. So I said, you know what? Let me talk to somebody I trust. I just called my sister.
But you know,
Yo,
you know,
let's do
you know
this.
something about that is a lot of people will only be able to pour how much they have in them. Do you get? So when all they can give you is a cup of water,
Yeah.
it's all they possess within them,
Exactly.
That's a good
right?
point.
So I like to you know, I give people that benefit of you know, that I don't get mad at people for
Yeah, no, yeah,
you know, 'cause I'm
absolutely.
like, now as much as you get,
Yeah,
then they give
yeah.
you back.
This
You
is
get-
person's capacity.
That's your capacity. Like that's all you can. That's all you can. That's all you can even give yourself if you were in my shoes.
Yeah.
Do you get? So you know,
I
I've
feel
come to
that.
that level of understanding, you know, about human beings, man. You know,
I
and
feel that.
you just gotta be careful. You
Yeah.
honestly gotta be careful with who you allow pour into you.
Absolutely.
You know, especially when it comes to like, you know, businesses and plans that are still in the initial stage, right? You just gotta be careful. For real, man.
I agree with you because I believe ideas have different stages.
And you need different people.
You know what I like
No,
Kali?
no, no.
You know what I like Kali? When Kali says something, you first pause, you not smile.
No,
You're like,
and different stages
no, but
for different people because you might need specific people for stage 5.
Yeah.
And you don't need them in stage 1.
Yeah, because there's some
If
things.
if those people in stage 5 are in stage 1, they might kill it.
Because you know what's funny, right? Those stages, the first one, you might say, as K did, that might be K and K. K is internalizing, in and out. He say he comes here, you know. He hasn't come here yet. He does not have this idea. He's just writing things down,
Yeah.
taking things out. That's him.
Yeah.
Maybe the second stage, it might involve someone that doesn't know him.
True.
Just go somewhere. Hey, what do you think of if we do this? And the person will be like, oh, yeah. Anyway, everybody fake it too much here, but some people might say, oh, yeah, that's a great idea. Then maybe the third stage, maybe that's when K have the space, trying to bring people, okay, let's get some feedback. Because I believe it's so different stages, right?
Yeah.
Because the mistake you make too is to involve someone in stage 5, as you say, in stage 1.
Yeah.
Because I keep probably you do that. Come and hear my idea, or my brother, I want to build an apartment.
Okay. For someone who wants to, of course, anybody, I mean, guys, you guys should come to Dizanga and actually look at the wonderful work here. For someone who wants to, but for me, I consider this as a real estate of some sort.
Okay, that's another
I do. For someone who wants to embark on this, you've rented out, you said it was a 4,000 square feet area, and then this place is out. And then for someone who is seeing this, trust me, whether you know this or not, you've inspired some people. And of course, in business, we see the competitors begin to arise. And then tomorrow, somebody else might do something bigger or something smaller. But for someone who wants to start out on an idea that would require something like this, how would you advise them to go about it? With regards to finance as well. And again, you know, different people have different financial capacity. And I mean, I believe that there are several experiences that you must have garnered all through the different things you had done that made you, land this place. So what do I mean? I just remember back then in school, we were doing all those dumb presentations for all those useless projects that we used to do. And then we thought it was actually useless.
It wasn't.
But it wasn't, man. Because at the end of the day, you have to pitch an idea to some people. You have to do X, Y, Z to some other persons. You have to sell an idea to someone, to be able to get money from them, to be able to invest in some certain things and convince them and negotiate and, learn how to shake hands and all those things. So for someone who has an idea, how do you advise them? You've said, for the most part, you might not necessarily share, but, some people need other people to validate their ideas. That's just who they are.
100%.
They need to tell some other people and then they say, yeah, let's go, yeah, get you done. So for someone who has this, because, we've spoken about some of the challenges as well. For someone who has an idea and then they want to get started in it, what would you tell them and how would you tell them to necessarily go about it? That, and again, unless they go about it themselves, they might not know the challenges they're going to encounter because your challenge is going to be different. The challenges you face is going to be different from theirs. So how would you necessarily advise them to go about it? And then you see, if you try it, yes, of course, there's 30% success, but then the other 70%, you have to figure it out yourself.
I would say, if there's one thing I could have done better, right? It would be, getting more mentorship, And a lot of people underestimate the value behind, someone who has been on a journey before and you learning from their experience.
1,000%.
When I first started out, like I said, I didn't discuss my ideas a whole lot, right? And like you said, the fear of competition and all those kind of things, right?
Yeah.
I was scared, like, if I tell people my idea or I pitch my idea in different places, somebody will steal my idea and run with it. You get?
Yeah.
So I think that was one thing I was also very scared about because, even when it came to, like, looking for people who would give me advice and, looking for funding, looking for different things, like, one of the first things I was like, I feel like I'm up to something here. I have a really good idea. Like, what if, and, it just made me run a whole lot of things by myself. And I made a whole lot of mistakes that I feel if I opened
Up a little
more,
bit, yeah.
I wouldn't have made. Right? So I always tell people, like, as you're doing your research as well as you're, like, assessing the market or whatever you want to do, as you're putting all your numbers together and everything.
Yeah.
If you have the privilege of having someone who could run you through certain things and
Yeah.
run you through your journey or your vision and everything, who've been on similar path before, take advantage of it. It goes a long way. All right?
Nice.
That's
Nice.
yeah.
No, that's it. That's it. That's it.
Yeah, because mentorship is good because you see,
And,
when
and, I,
when
and I
look
think
at-
that's something we don't value in
yeah,
this
that's
day
what
and
it-
age.
yeah, because what you're right, because what Key created here is what we as a community we are lacking. What do I mean? I suppose I speak to you guys all about this. Everyone wants to work as an individual.
Everybody wants to be their own boss.
But K have created a space where we say individuals come together and let's fuse something out.
Yeah.
Because that space, remember that space, this someone that kind of looks like us, you know, maybe not the same skin, but we can relate.
What do you mean by not the same thing?
No, you know, I'm different, you know.
I know you're from Brazil. It's fine. Go ahead.
But you get what
Go
I mean?
ahead.
So that's the way myself as a creative look at it, right? Because I say, if you, for example, if you want to work with someone on something now, now one of the barriers that might come in will be logistics. Where
Yeah.
I mean, they might not want to do it at your house if it's something,
Yeah.
you know, if you want to host a small event. K has eliminated that barrier. So now you're just fusing your ideas together and getting things done. Like the idea you came up with, all those ideas you came up with.
Yeah.
If K didn't exist, you would have been saying, Kali, can't find anywhere. Oh. Those things are no more there. So if you're listening, what there's nothing holding you back. It's just you. And maybe a few dollars. No, but if you look at it, it's not an expensive space. If you're hosting an event 3 hours, the winter is coming now. This is event season.
Yeah. 100%.
Oh, winter is event season?
Yeah. No, summer too, but when I mean indoor investing.
Yeah, indoor.
And this is what this space
It's needed for.
is needed for. Creative, because we're in a creative generation
Yeah.
where you sit down, you're either painting. I just met one of the young man the other day. He knows how to paint. I'm like, bro, this is crazy. I know you have been telling me to come do video for him, but that's different. But like, this is the space where you can come in. People watch him paint. Actually, I went for one paint class one time in Toronto, but it was a funny one. It's a nude,
Doesn't
it's
he
a
like
nude one.
you went to
Oh shit, this guy.
No, but
man.
You went to those, man.
hold on, Haki. They don't think about it. The person is the kid,
Wait, was it people of your same gender or the opposite gender that were naked?
Oh, I beg.
I think that's the most important question.
That's
to
the
ask.
bad
Let's leave that.
Kali, change.
Guy, please ask her to change.
Change.
Please ask her to change.
Let's sit down for another day.
So what to do there?
No.
I don't want to know what to give him there. I don't want to know what to give him there.
I'm someone that's always.
You're curious.
Before you go ahead,
It's just down for whatever.
I think every time you mention Zanga, someone say, "Oh, there are many people. I can't mention their name. They are really cooking stuff up."
Yeah.
If Zanga didn't exist, you would have been saying, "Oh, let's ask."
You have to go out of town. Yeah. Or probably go out of
But
town.
now you're looking at the events. You're thinking in your head, man, this space is. Once you walk into Studio A, you're saying, "Okay, I can do a meet and greet here. I can do this here." It's coming into your head, right? There's no space like that exists.
Yeah.
All this hype thing I'm doing is money. But it's what it is.
So how can people necessarily find Dizanga and find details of Dizanga?
So we do have a website, right? Dezanga.com. And on our website, like, we have the different studios listed out there and, you know, pictures of the studios and ideally what they can be used for. So, like,
Nice.
capacity, like, each studio is ideal for. And, you know, on our social media pages, you know, Instagram,
Yeah.
Twitter,
Yep.
TikTok, and
Nice.
Facebook as well. Like we're active on there. You know, like we share, you know, events and, you know, like pictures of the studios every now and then, and also like activities and engagements, you know, that we have within our space on our, you know, mostly on our Instagram page. And so, and, you know, like if anyone has like any, you know, inquiries or collaboration options, like, you know, you could also like shoot us an email on hello@dezanga.com. You know, like we we respond fast.
Quick.
I have two questions. I love asking questions because they say when you ask questions, you never miss where you're going.
It's me.
Is Zanga going to be a franchise?
I'm not even gonna lie. I thought about this this was part of our long-term plans, right?
Yeah.
Because we built and we want to build something where whatever market we find ourselves in tomorrow, we want to be able to easily replicate what we've done.
Yep.
And someone might like this idea tomorrow. I had a friend who was in Winnipeg who knew about this idea from the beginning, and she was like, we don't have anything out here. I was like, well, if you want to open a Zanga in Winnipeg, holla at your boy, we can make this happen.
Yep.
We got the structure right now. We just have to replicate what we've done here, and it's obviously going to be easier now.
Yeah.
But that's definitely not something I want to
Do right now.
But I mean, it's always good to have goals, right? And
100%.
and have big plans.
100%.
Your plan should be bigger than you can imagine.
Yeah.
So if it's something that the opportunity springs up in the nearest future,
It would.
we'd
It would.
definitely, jump on it without thinking. For a
It
sec.
would.
Because when I look at the walls of Zanga, one day you might come in and have pins of different places around the world where you get the idea coming into my
Location,
head.
yeah.
Yeah.
Kali should be like a visionary, man.
I visualize like Nigerian president. I don't know whether it will happen.
Vision 2020.
Vision 2020, but that's because that's the thing that came into my head. It could be, I don't know if you're thinking of it as a franchise, as an umbrella company. There are many other companies or many adventures that might come under what you're trying to build.
But I mean, personally, we own the Zanga group, right?
Okay, now you're talking, yes.
And this is one of the companies that's
Okay.
we're putting under the Zanga group, and we still want to grow the Zanga.
That's it.
One thing we really want to get into in the nearest future, and probably before the end of the year, is also around real estate.
Nice.
And
Nice.
I don't want to share so much detail.
No, of course. No, of course.
We know how you work.
But-
You keep things on the low.
But I mean, Zanga kind of means my,
All of us.
my space, my
Yeah.
area, I just kind of feel like it's a name that kind of fit into most of the business vision, the plans that we had for the future, right?
Yeah.
Around real estate and owning physical locations for different kind of things,
Yeah.
short-term rentals and, a whole lot of, crazy ideas
Yeah.
and things that we, we want to venture into in the nearest future. So, I mean, Zanga Studios is definitely our new
I like that name.
JVN.
Zanga Studios.
Yeah.
Please go. Make sure you copyright before someone does.
Listen, man.
Because there's another one, Zanga ice cream.
Oh my
Oh,
God.
see. This
You never know. You never know.
Listen.
Or Zanga ice cream truck.
To anyone
Why
listening,
the ice cream?
to anyone listening,
Your mind is going far.
I know that Kali like ice cream.
I do. On
I
the
know he
truck.
does. But then to anyone listening, I mean, if there's anything you're going to pick up from this episode, it is just simple. If you have a goal, if you have a vision,
Chase
if
it.
you have something you actually want to do, I'm not going to, just say what everyone has said or what everyone out there, would normally say. It is tough, it is hard, it's difficult. But then one of the things I found out is, there's no better way to get joy, or there's no better joy in this world that comes out of just doing something. Like doing something
That's
with
true.
your hands and trying to make your own impact. Like there's no greater joy necessarily.
I'm telling you.
And then when you do it, you look at it. Yes, of course, it might be incomplete. There might still be 1,000 miles to go, but the truth of the matter is that day by day, you're getting there. Day by day, you're getting there, and then you're picking up different skills, here and there. So
I deal with you too.
I am so glad that we were able to sit down with Kay.
Yo, are we rounding up?
No,
Yeah.
before we round up.
No,
I have a question.
No, blow.
Blow.
Oh, okay. So, okay. First time I met you was, the launching of this place.
Bring your leg down so I can see you.
It was. You can see me from here now. And I have a question, right? So you said you've been staying in KW region for a while now.
Yep.
when you got here, how things were, you've seen how things have evolved, you know. Would you say at that time when you got here initially, would you say if you had opened this, maybe just when you got here, would you say it would have caught on the way it's catching on, or do you think, you know, there are different times for different things?
That's a good point.
Do you think this is the perfect time for this in this region?
I mean, as at the time, I haven't lived here for so long.
For so
We've been
long,
here for like 7 years, right?
That's long.
That's long.
And honestly, as when we moved to Kitchener-Waterloo, we see another black person on the road, we stare, man.
Like, what are you doing here?
Like, you know, like, and, you know, like, once it's like 8, 9 o'clock, like, the whole city is shut down, you know, like, on weekdays, it's 7 o'clock. You
Yeah,
know, like,
inside.
Time now.
it's, you know, like, everything is shut down. So, I mean, I feel like there's a perfect time and season for everything in life,
1000%.
right? And firstly, like, that wasn't my focus as at that point in time in my life. You know, I was trying to, like, I was going to school, and, you know, like, that was pretty much my focus at that point. And, you know, like, if I'm, you know, like, I was an international student, right? Like, you know, we all came here, and trust me, opening a business was not.
It was not your
Nah, it was not everybody's
on
mind.
our radar
You have
at
to
that
best cookies
point,
first
but that's one thing, like, you know, like, I've learned along the journey is, like, there's a time and season for everything. You know, like, your problems today are not going to be your problems tomorrow, you know, and, you know, like, your vision today might not be valid tomorrow, right? So, you know, I just felt like I'd gotten to the point where I wanted to scale and grow in the way I'm actually doing right now. And, you know, I didn't just stumble on it. I wake up yesterday. I had a vision, like, many years ago. I was like, okay, at this point, when I get to this point and I do these things and, you know, I get this, you know, amount of stability, I'm going to progress to the next thing. And thank God for hard work and resilience and dedication. You know, like, I've been always able to, like, push through all those things at every point, even regardless of, you know, disappointments and setbacks and all the, you know, everything that could possibly be thrown at someone, right? And, you know, and it's not to say, like, I'm the hardest worker or the most, you know, disciplined individual, but, you know, I just feel like if you have a clear goal and you have a clear plan and you know what you want out of life,
You get
and
it.
you're constantly putting, you know, tiny steps towards that plan every single day of your life. You might not have the full vision, you might not have the full blueprint, but if you're able to make one single progress every day, every month, every year, trust me, man, you achieve way more than you ever imagined you could.
Yeah.
And
1000%.
you know, like, I would say, like, right now, I felt comfortable opening up Zanga in Kitchener-Waterloo because of how much the city had grown, and also, like, the evolving demographics around here. You know, like, Kitchener-Waterloo is this place where they're always gonna be young, creative people. You know,
All the time,
we're
all
never
the time.
gonna lack that. You know, because of due to certain factors that we know about.
around.
right?
Yeah.
So, you know, I just felt like, you know, when I first started this, and the first few people I told, they were like, what do you want to do in the kitchen? I would tell you, like, what's there? Like, come here to Toronto and do it. I was like, there are like 100 people doing it in Toronto already. Like, I know the market is there. But secondly, I also had this attachment to this city. It's just one city that I've grown to love, man. You get, like,
I think anywhere I come to this city grows to love it.
Yeah, I'm new here and I'm already saying I'll pitch my tent here.
Yeah, you grow to love it, man.
Why are you looking at me like that, this young man? but you know, just to follow on that question is, you know, where, you know, and you don't have to answer the question, but where do you think you see Zanga in the next 5, 10 years?
Man, I'm not a planner, man. You get? I always keep an open mind. You get? I always keep an open mind, and I always stay prepared for opportunities. That's me. So if you ask me where I want to take Zanga to in the next 10 years, I want to obviously grow it to a very big brand. You know, a big brand that's
huge.
Is killing his thing, and you know, I'm not doubting myself, and you know, waking up in the morning. You know, but how is that going to happen? I'm not going to lie. I don't have that clear plan. You know, I have ideas of how I can do it.
You could try,
I have things I'm working on right now, but do I have the clear vision? No, but I'm taking steps every day, and you know, to like build this brand and you know, like continually throw it out there and you know, make it successful. So,
respect.
You know, I always, apart from having questions, I always have suggestions, and some of them are good, some of them are bad.
Thank God you know.
We need. Everyone is gonna love this. We need Zanga Hall of Fame wall.
what's gonna be on there.
Exactly, man. What I was like, what are you going to have on there?
Exactly.
I look for a place where you're going to hang your pictures on.
That's actually a good idea too. It's a place where people come because we have this thing when we're in school, right? There's a place where you come and say, "Oh, Aki was here." Could just have some. They never cleaned that board for years.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about.
So it's. I look at Zanga as a place. That place will exist.
No, but I don't think it should just be anybody.
No, it's not anybody now. You have to before you write.
And again,
that
like,
board, you
you
can't
should-
have the.
Yeah,
not
I
everybody
mean,
writes.
That's a pretty good marketing scheme. I
yeah,
guess.
it is.
Yeah.
It is
For
because
social media, you know,
All the things
someone
I see,
comes here, you
ideas
just
I'm giving out for free, but let's go.
Yeah.
no, like especially when you start having like top brands
Yeah.
coming here to actually record or take pictures or do whatever it is. Like it's as simple as anybody that's coming here to take a tour would definitely say, "Oh shit,
like the other day,
I can-
our brother was trying to talk to a potential model client.
yeah."
And then she
And
asked,
it was
she
so
asked-
sad.
She asked the question, said, "Who have you worked with, or what brands have you worked with?"
Please, I don't want to get into. I don't want to get into that behind. No, someone asked me. Said, "Oh God, okay, this life I've suffered. That's part of the process, but it's okay." Someone said, "Well, when you have a big brand, call me." Are you serious?
I mean, you don't know the crap they've been through trying to grow their own brand.
You know?
It's just the same way tomorrow you become big and you be like,
Who are you?
who are you? I don't shoot any kind of presses.
No, I don't think I will do that.
That's what you
Are you
say.
sure?
No, no, no.
See, let me tell you something. Never
underestimate yourself.
Not even that.
Carl, you never
You never know
underestimate
your true self till you hit some certain kind of
I
fame
agree,
and
I
money.
agree. Like when people say this, you never know who you are. Like if you look at politicians that are corrupt back home, and I asked someone one question, I said, "Have you seen $15 million cash?" Everyone always pause. If you see $15 million cash right now, that things you
I'll
should
give
it to you
right
at
here.
once.
You have to
You'll
see
make
cash.
some. You'll make some life decisions.
Everybody is always principled when they are poor.
Exactly.
Yes, yes.
You get-
Exactly.
Until the money comes in.
until the money comes in.
Yeah.
So I always tell myself, I'm like, bruh, I don't trust myself.
No, I trust myself.
As vain as it sounds, but it's very real. And everybody, if they're being honest, they'll say the same thing.
Yeah.
Man,
You don't know what you're capable of when you hit some certain level of
I
success.
agree with
in
that.
life.
I agree.
You get. You will do certain things at that point that, in fact, you sit down in your bed and ask yourself in the night, like, "She is this me?" Like, I always told myself that I'll never be this person when
I
I'm.
actually did this.
You get. So you really don't know yourself, man. You
Okay,
really
yeah.
don't know yourself.
Yeah, no.
outside Dizanga and work and everything, like what have you been like getting into? I mean, like places you've been getting ideas from or relaxing. I mean, I'm talking about like reading books, watching YouTube videos, getting to your gym. Like what else have you been doing to just remove your mind, you know, sometimes before the next day hits and then you have to be back here. It's actually.
Like,
Or maybe there's a new movie you've seen that you think people should see, or there's a book you've seen, or there's a documentary you've seen that you think, nah, you guys should do this.
honestly, like, aside Zanga, which obviously it's into 99% of my life.
Yeah.
right? You know, I mean, for the most part, like, I still try, going to the gym lately.
Nice.
I work out at the gym.
Nice.
I go to the gym, it's my good stress relief point. Sometimes I just go in there and plug in my music and, just disconnect from the world, right? And, honestly, I haven't done so much recreational things in a very long time, right? Because it's been so much work and everything for me. But, aside all the being serious and entrepreneur and work and everything, like,
Yeah.
I'm one person that enjoys traveling a lot. Like,
Nice.
I take the advantage and the opportunity to go somewhere new every time as time permits. I'm going to be out. Before Zanga became a thing, the first question everyone always asks me when they call me is, "Are you around?" Because, I was out there.
Nice.
And I'm one person that, I gather most of my inspiration about life and business
From different places.
from everywhere I go. Like, your mind is only, if you've lived in this room all your life, your mind is limited to this room.
1,000%.
Yeah,
You know,
that's true.
but the more you go
1,000%.
out there, there's so much of the world to see, and like, I'll jump on that opportunity if I ever have it, anytime, any day. To like go out there and see what else is in the world, because you never know where your next idea is going to pop up from, right?
Nice.
And like, what else have I been doing lately? I think For me, that's like
That's
honestly,
it.
Zanger has just been it like lately, man.
Nah,
Like,
then
I
and then
haven't really watched TV in a while. You know, like I was just saying, like I missed actually just sitting down and like watching TV on the weekend, man. Like who sent me?
how about you,
Honestly,
Akin?
man. But I honestly feel like in life there's a time for
Yeah.
sowing,
Everything.
There's a time for sowing, and there's a time for building, and there's a time for reaping all these things.
Even
right?
Jesus rested.
Exactly, and
God,
I just feel like the last few months have just been my time to build, right? So
Nice.
hopefully, eventually, it's gonna
Yeah,
pay
yeah.
off, and all the seeds are gonna grow, and like you sit back and enjoy the reward of your success, right? So
You would.
yeah,
How about you, G?
What have I been up to?
Yep.
Okay.
You bought one book. That book, I'm not
not
sure
seen
if
me-
you know where that book is.
I know where it is now. It's on the table.
No, you see now.
I bought a
It's
book.
not on the table. I took
bought
it
a-
inside on Friday.
I bought a book. Why did you take my book? I bought a book called Atomic Habits. And the essence of the book is
Is it atomic habit? I mean, atomicity.
no
Oh,
atomic.
it's not atomicity. It's atomic habits.
It's the essence of the book is how you train yourself to gain habits bit by bit. So you don't just wake up one morning and say I want to start this. You have their stepping stones.
Yeah, that's the process.
So an atom is the smallest molecule in I don't know the definition.
Within an atom, there's still some other things now. There's a nucleus, proton, and all that. Like
Well, I think the
biology,
definition. I don't know. I messed up.
biology, chemistry, cause
it's chemistry.
I really
It's
feel.
over. You failed.
But-
Now we know why your result was like that.
But
I really feel.
Well, yeah, that's one book I have that I haven't started reading, but I want to get into it. One thing I would recommend to watch is Succession. I don't know if you guys have seen Succession.
I finished it.
I love Succession.
Have you finished
I've
it?
watched. Yeah, I finished it. I'm going to
When did you
rewatch
finish
it again. I just like 2 months ago.
Oh, 2 months ago.
Yeah.
Have you seen Succession?
yeah.
What do you think?
I mean, it's a good movie. I didn't follow it back
Did you
to back.
seriously?
I just watched like few episodes of it.
Let me tell you something, man.
Yeah.
Please don't start.
It's very.
Let us.
Go on, see.
Kali, you need to see Succession. I just think you would not like it because of somebody things. Kali will definitely not like Roman.
No, you will not like
You
some
will
of
not
the
like Roman.
characters.
You will not like Roman.
You
at
don't
all.
like Roman.
You don't like Shiv.
You don't like Shiv, and you don't like
You will not
Tom.
like if he will not even like their father. No, he will like their father.
You love their father for sure.
Yeah, he would. He would.
That's
but then,
you,
like,
I think.
Kali, you would actually learn a lot from it. Like, trust me.
Really good.
You learn a lot from it. So try and say it in your free time. Try and say it in your free time. Yeah. Any other thing?
And then I started running at the gym
Yeah.
to
Key.
because I want to start playing ball again. Fitness is in the gutter, so I'm trying to improve my cardio.
Nice.
I saw a clip on Instagram and the guy said the strongest or the most important muscle in your body is your heart, and I was like, guy, that's so true.
Kali, you know, Kali does not do cardio.
I know. He says he plays football and that's what he needs. I mean, fair enough.
But you know the funniest thing? I actually just learned that running on the treadmill burns the least calories.
Yeah, of course, it does. It does.
A lot, there's very huge misconception about running and
I
calorie
don't believe in
intake.
it. But it works, right?
I mean, it frees up your
It frees
muscles.
up some things,
Yeah.
especially during the winter. It's fine.
Yeah.
Because we're always fever during the winter. I agree with that. But like the physical one, the biking one is more effective.
No, I do more bike.
Yeah, the cycling one is more effective from research I've done. But outside running is obviously you can't do that during the winter too
No,
much.
run on your
If
treadmill.
not, you end up where you're not supposed to.
Of course, I don't want to be in the hospital.
Kali, how about you, man? What
See-
have you been up to?
I've been thinking about a lot of things.
As always.
But here's the thing. The year is almost done.
I remember this time last year. Exactly this time last year.
Yeah. Yeah. And I look back and say, Aki made some New Year resolution.
That he has not met.
You didn't even know me last year, bro.
You did. No, I know
This
you did.
time.
No, yeah.
Yeah.
You were on the other side of the world.
Yeah, I was still
Probably-
in Africa.
You were probably still buying gala and some things on the road.
Yeah, I was.
That's beautiful. I never.
What's wrong with eating gala?
There's nothing wrong with it, but for some people that don't know,
From the
it's
traffic.
For people that don't know,
From
it's
the
a sausage roll.
It's
Don't
sausage
buy
roll.
gala in
Gala is
traffic.
sausage roll.
Yeah, like a sausage roll with some
Gala
melted
like
flour,
casera.
some things. Together. It's beautiful.
Gala, like I said, is a food for champions.
Yeah. If you eat that, some of the people call it in Badume or something like that. It holds you. That's what it means. Something like that. But anyways, I've been thinking about this. Do you know a lot you could do in these 4 months remaining that you haven't done the
Yeah,
rest of the
man.
year.
There's a whole.
Because
lot of
sometimes, you know, they use these dates and months to kind of delay our.
some people
you
at this
know.
point are already thinking about January.
Oh yeah.
They're like, oh, the year is
there's
done,
no point,
no.
there's no point, yeah.
There's no point to let's just start winding down. Some people are winding down from
Some
September.
are winding down, you know, but look at it. That's why we have this is the last quarter of the year,
Injury time.
and I believe there are so many things that maybe I didn't achieve this year that I need to.
Why? Why?
What do you mean? Why I didn't achieve them?
Yes.
Of course, the sole blame should be me and me only.
No, I mean like, why didn't you achieve it? Of course, like,
Oh yeah.
who else are you going to blame for your failure?
The thing is, oh my brother, that fear is there. Forget that one. The thing is, there's some fears that involve money. You have to issue as well. No, but again, looking at improving or that art of giving, you know,
You give.
I give a
what-
lot.
Eh?
I dash a lot.
Wait, you don't have to know now.
Don't live in
What does the Bible say? You know,
Don't
Your-
let the right hand. I think I know he knows one of those things. I know you're a black Hebrew.
don't say that. What's
I
that?
won't say, but I know you're a black Israelite.
Allegedly.
But
No, but that's a welcome development, though, if you're planning on giving.
no. I give a lot. One of the things you ask people around me is,
Kali.
I learned from the guy I told you, one of my guys at the gym, that he doesn't value anything he has. So it's one of those things I try to get better at. But it doesn't mean
So
to
the act
you
of
ask me
giving.
for my camera, I'll give it to you.
But what do you give?
Or not.
Exactly. What do you give? What have you given
Do you know the
lately?
most important thing I give someone?
Advice.
Time.
Okay. Time. Okay.
Are you sure?
I can retire spending with me now because I don't have money yet.
Oh, the most important thing you can give anybody is money.
Literally, bro, you're telling me your time. Bro, your time does not mean anything to me, Jerry.
Let's stop acting civil.
As in,
No, but that question, you know, there's one question. They said,
Look at this people, look
there's
at
one question.
this
They said a dinner with Jay-Z or 50. I don't know.
Oh, $10 million.
Or 10, is it $10 million?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'll not take any. What am I doing with Jay-Z?
You don't want to hear about how he
All
reached
the
the
advice
heights.
on YouTube is not there. Jay-Z that will help change my life. So hold on. It's not with Jay-Z. Jay-Z, you can come there, finish the steak and say, tell me about yourself. By the time you finish
That's you now. You are supposed to, engage.
There's
Ask
tension
questions.
when you're on that table with him. It's not a relaxed.
Of course, but you have to break it. You have to break it.
break ice with Jay-Z.
You have to.
Someone that's no.
He's a man like you now.
Mom, they're different men, no.
man, recently I've been,
What are you doing?
like, so of course, Aki has been staying on my ends. So, like, my whole timetable. Aki is a night crawler. So, he's coming back around 1.
Where's it coming from?
I don't know. I have to ask so.
No, because it's very important for me to know where people venture into.
Because
I'm most likely coming from the gym if I come back that late.
No, young man, no. I've never seen you at that time at the gym. I have to ready.
You go earlier than. Sometimes you go earlier than you.
No, I go.
Either I'm coming back from the gym or I'm coming back
Okay.
from school.
There are two places that you can come back from that will be allowed. If it's not the gym or the house of God, I don't know.
That I just
so, yeah, like, my schedule has
Yeah,
been
you do.
off. But, that's been off doing, of course, and most of them have been because of you as well. Because I have to do meetings with you by 12.
No.
Why do you guys do coven meeting? Coven meeting by 12.
Feminist coven.
But we're working on this project. And for some reason, when someone schedules a meeting at 12 a.m. and it says 12 a.m. Thursday, for some reason.
Oh, it's Friday.
Oh, sorry, it's 12 a.m. Friday. My mind is thinking.
It's Saturday.
Is that Friday?
No.
Do you get what I mean? So this guy will just call me around and say, yo, man, it's tomorrow now. Till Friday. So it messes with my head a little bit. So,
Yeah, I get that.
So I
I
missed
get
one
that.
or two of those meetings.
But then I've just been reading. I'm trying to wrap up like most of the books I'm reading.
That's good.
Started reading this book on negotiation. Never Split the Difference. It's a good book. Like it's an awesome one, yeah. And then with strategy, because we have so many things regarding strategy that we're doing. Blue Ocean strategy, just as he was, talking about. There are so many guys that are doing this in Toronto. If you go there and you go and do this, Toronto is already a red ocean. So here in Kitchener, you still have very, very few businesses, doing this. So it's still a blue ocean. It's still fresh. You can still capitalize on so many things,
But do you know what's funny about that? You said,
He's using technical terms.
Do you know-
Red
do you know-
ocean, red ocean,
you know
blue
what's funny about
ocean.
that? You said,
What?
Right?
What?
I told myself something the first time I started design, right? Obviously, no one was doing it that time. Product design. But even if I started it now, or even the camera work,
Yeah.
Baba, you have your style.
True.
Yeah, of course. No. Definitely, you have to
You get what I
differentiate
mean?
yourself. You have to
get what I mean?
differentiate yourself.
And
Definitely, yes.
There was a book about it because if someone walking here, if the person will know his anger, even if the person is blind. The smell.
No. So, Kali,
vibe.
let me explain to you.
Anyway,
Let me explain to you.
let's not go deep.
No. I get that.
Let's not
Let me
go
explain to you the problem.
Maybe your glasses, I can see you, sir. I don't know what's
No.
going
So
on
the
there.
problem with that is this.
What's the problem?
When you have several businesses that are doing the same thing, most people don't focus on how they can necessarily differentiate themselves from the other business. Why? Everybody is now competing with the same factors that the other businesses are competing with. So tomorrow, if someone comes inside here and sees Zanga, trust me, they will start saying, "Oh shit, I need to have a space."
Light. Yeah.
I need to. So most businesses are competing with the same factors instead of looking at other factors that they can necessarily. So one thing that K has done now is to reconstruct market boundaries. You understand? Which is different from, of course, so he has expanded it. So like the most, in fact, like I wouldn't say it is genius of not wanting to say, oh, there's so many people doing it in Toronto. Let's go and start fighting with the market share in Toronto. What he has done is let us move to Kitchener. Let us start from there. This is still fresh water. You understand? Yeah. This is still fresh water because he can pull people from London, he can pull people from Waterloo, he can pull people from Cambridge, he can pull people from Guelph. Instead of going all the way there, and then you now know what? He can use price as a differentiator and say, you know what? Come here, we have everything. So it's so that's what the book necessarily is. So like trying to wrap up all of that.
I've done the whole summary of the book now.
It shows that I've read the book. It shows that I read the book. But man,
I will tell you chapter 4.
I appreciate you, man. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, that's how we're doing, man.
I appreciate you.
We wrap up today.
I appreciate you.